Hi everyone, I would like to start off this video by briefly explaining who Min Heejin is for those of you that might not know. Min Heejin was previously a creative director under SM Entertainment where she worked with groups such as SHINee, FX, NCT Dream and more. She then started working under HYBE, and there she founded her own label. You might have heard about her as she is responsible of creating HYBE's brand new girl group Newjeans, and I would like to start this video by talking about Newjeans in particular, but before that, I just want to make a brief disclaimer. I am not saying Min Heejin ever laid a finger on the people she has worked with. I do not think it's right making such assumptions with no proof whatsoever, but I just want to point out some of the weird and inappropriate things she has done during her career. About Newjeans, let me be honest, right from the beginning I didn't really vibe with their concept. I just thought there was something slightly weird in how the girls were dressed and in the fact they were paired up with guys that seemed to look older than them, considering most of the members are minors, the youngest member being literally 14. But I didn't see anyone talking about it, so I just thought maybe I was reading too much into things. But then I realized that maybe this concept was really not as innocent as some people made it out to be. Weird things have happened since pre-debut. Something that people have been pointing out is about a pre-debut photoshoot of member Danielle. She was styled like young Natalie Portman in the movie titled On the Professional, which has some weird and creepy vibes as it seems to show a relationship between a young girl and a man in his 30s. The director of Leon also stated that he took inspiration from Lolita. So yeah, pretty weird. Mind you, Natalie Portman was 12 at the time the movie was shot, which makes it even more creepy. And the fact that Danielle's pictures were inspired by the character makes everything extremely uncomfortable considering Danielle was born in 2005, making her only 17. Then we should also talk about their debut song Cookie. The song is clearly not talking about a real cookie. The lyrics go something like, I made a cookie, come and take a lookie, if you want it you can get it, sweet sugar, my dessert, that's how you like it, take it, don't break it, I wanna see you taste it, no thanks I don't wanna taste any cookie, half of you are minors for God's sake. The official explanation was that the cookie represented their love for the fans, but I'm not buying that. When they were singing in the video their expressions looked very seductive, so the concept was clearly not about baking. Whoever wrote the lyrics did them so dirty, and Min Heejin approved such lyrics when half of the members are underage. What the fuck? And I would like for Newjeans stans to not take everything as an attack to the group or as an attempt to boycott them and damage their image. This is a serious topic that needs to be discussed, and it goes beyond just a bunch of people using this situation as an advantage to discredit Newjeans and create drama surrounding them. If all you care about is what people say about them instead of their actual well-being, then I think you should redefine your priorities. This is not an attack to the girls whatsoever, but now I think we should talk about other iffy things that Heejin has been involved with in the past. Her questionable work at SM. As a creative director for SM, she made Taemin pose shirtless for a photoshoot when he was still a minor. And the worst thing is that she didn't even tell him in advance because she didn't want him to work out in preparation for the shooting. Instead, she wanted him to look natural and innocent. There is something that's just so wrong in not telling someone they're gonna have to pose shirtless and keeping it a secret from them, especially if that someone is a minor. Another thing worth mentioning is how she worked with NCT Dream for their MV My First and Last. Basically, this video shows them fighting to get their teacher's attention, a teacher they have a crush on. And the thing is, the members were still minors at the time. So yeah, showing minors competing for the attention of a woman much older than them is definitely not the most ideal concept you can give a group with such young members. This may not be that problematic, but like I said, there could have been a million other concepts more suitable for such young members. Another SM group she worked with was Super Junior. She was the creative director for their music video for their song Devil. In the video there is a girl who plays the role of the love interest, and back when the MV was filmed this girl was literally 14, being the love interest of the Super Junior members who are grown men. Now, maybe Min Heejin was not the one who directly chose that girl, as it's possible she wasn't the one in charge of the casting, but as a creative director I believe she controlled most of the creative aspects, including the casting, and even if she didn't, there's no way she wouldn't have known about her young age. So again, pretty disturbing. Her obsession with youth. One of the most alarming things about Heejin is her Instagram and the fact that it's full of pictures of young girls. Not to mention she hang up on her house wall some pictures from movies with a very questionable plot. In particular a movie about a man marrying a young and mentally disabled girl. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just weird. There is another thing displayed in her house, and it is an album by a French songwriter that follows the narrative of an illicit romance between him and a 15-year-old girl. What's worse is that the author seemed to be really influenced by Lolita. But back to Min Heejin. Her whole Instagram is also filled with screens coming from very questionable movies with big age gaps between the female actresses and their male co-stars. She also seems obsessed with Brooke Shields. For those of you who don't know, she was a girl that has been exploited by her mom since the age of 10, making her pose for nude photoshoots and being given very inappropriate roles in movies. And the fact that Min Heejin seems to get inspiration from those aesthetics isn't something very reassuring. It really doesn't help that she seems to be obsessed with the magnets of groups she works with, like Taemin, FX Crystal that she labeled her muse despite Crystal being only 14 when she debuted, and also Heejin of Newjeans that she would invite to her house, which is kinda disturbing since like I said, Min Heejin has inappropriate pictures on her walls. Her work and aesthetics. People have been praising her for her work and aesthetics, but this goes beyond simple aesthetics. If you know everything that hides behind the surface and all the implications, then I don't get how you could still support her. People have such double standards because if she was a man, everybody would have called him a creep and would have lost their minds. But just because she's a woman, then nobody finds a problem with it. People love the image of an independent woman being successful in a male-dominated field, and this is exactly what Heejin represents. People eat that shit up, and that's why she has been getting a lot of hype and a lot of support. I'm not questioning her professional abilities, but the whole references that she gets inspiration from for her works makes me kind of concerned for the young idols that are working with her. If I had a kid that debuted as an idol, I would want my kid as far from that woman as possible. I'm personally someone that always tries to support minors when they debut, because they work hard and they deserve to have their talents being appreciated. And personally, I'm pretty much okay with minors debuting if the concept is appropriate. But there's definitely something iffy about her work, even with Newjeans. So far nothing that inappropriate has happened, but I just get weird vibes, and it honestly disgusts me how SM and Hype seem to have no problem with what she's been doing. I'm not saying she has ever engaged in inappropriate stuff with the minor she's been working with. It's very wrong making these kind of assumptions without clear proof, so we shouldn't be speculating on this. But her overall creative direction is something I'm definitely not a fan of. She seems to use youthfulness and innocence as an aesthetic, but this is not an aesthetic. These are characteristics that need to be protected, not exploited. These are themes that have to be treated carefully, because if they are shown in the wrong way, they can seriously enable people with pretty bad intentions, and they can be damaging for the young minors. Treating everything as a pretty aesthetic is wrong, and I hope that she will realize that. In conclusion, please hear me out. I'm not saying she is a predator, because we obviously don't know enough to be able to make these kind of assumptions, and I would like for people to refrain from making these kind of claims, since these are very serious accusations that can unfairly ruin a life and a career in case they were not true. But what's sure is that she's pretty fucking weird, and I'm not sure she's the best person for minors to work with. She seems to want to exploit their innocent image in a way that is definitely creepy and targeted to people that can have very weird intentions. What's especially disturbing is that many people could have stopped her but never did. The companies she's been working with could have all seen that there was something weird going on, but they enabled her behavior. This is a problem that affects the whole industry and goes beyond just Min Heejin herself. But it's shocking me how such a blatantly questionable line of work has always been allowed to carry on. I would like to know what you guys think. I feel like this needs to be talked about because it's kinda concerning and her work makes me pretty uncomfortable. Anyway, this is everything I had to say regarding this topic. In case I disappear and never come back, it's probably because I've been sued by Heejin's legal team and I ended up in jail. But anyways, thanks for watching this video and tell me what you think of the situation. Bye everyone.